What is up, Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department? I am just a simple new type, and in this episode, we're concluding Patlabor, the mobile police. Last time we saw Section 2 in action with the new Ingrams. Kanaka Clancy from the NYPD joined the team, and Asuma defused a bomb. Captain Goto said, "We aren't some autistic boy in an anime. That's the other thing." They're sent to training camp where they run into ghosts. This time we will uncover the mystery of said ghosts. Former soldiers from the Japanese Defense Force try to start a coup, and one man steals a truck and gets way over his head. So let's get into this. The next morning, the team began training. No one got any rest except for Izumi. She was out like a brick. Kanaka says maybe you're all just weak men. They think Goto knows more than he is leading on. Asuma and Izumi sneak away from training. They head to a shop where they meet a shopkeeper that looks like one of the ghosts. Asuma runs into an old man from his childhood. "What's up with the ghosts, old man? What's up with the ghosts?" Ghost Lady spies on the school while Ota and Kanaka have a mock battle. Kanaka is using the AVT. The MPL 97 AVT is a prototype from Shinohara Heavy Industries, which serves as a training machine now that the Ingrams are in service. It is similar to an Ingram, but much of the armor is stripped. These originally don't have a head, but one was added to give the unit extra sensors. It has a waist-mounted turn signal and floodlights. The old man mentions that mock battles here used to be a spectacle, but in the past, a round went off and killed a young woman. The cadet who shot the woman was her older brother. Goto and the others kept it on the down low. Well, they are cops, just like that one day. So too does Ota have an accident with his Vulcan revolver. Shige comes over and tells him that someone tampered with the labor. They also wonder why the lady at the shop looks like the lady that was killed long ago. Asuma tells them that he beat up an old man. The old man says that he took him in after their parents passed. They think this woman at the shop is responsible. That is when Kanaka comes in and tells everyone that all of this is made up. The past accident is made up. The old man's story, the ghost stories. All of it made up by Goto. He was trying to get them to reflect on their actions and rethink how they use guns. Kanaka doesn't approve of his method. We learn the girl is Mihoko Goto, the captain's niece. Ota says, "I didn't learn my lesson. I will shoot you." Everyone is on vacation. Goto wants to hang out with Shinobu. Guards try to stop Asuma from entering SHI. He spots a new labor he shouldn't see. Old man Chitsuyama tells him that the president is trying to compete with Yotsuba Heavy Industries. This bad boy has a CD-ROM drive. It is planned on being used by the military. Asuma visits Shinshi, but his wife says go away. He then visits Kanaka, who is leaving in the morning to head back to the US. At the Izumi household, Papa Izumi says women can't drive robots. Asuma asks out Izumi, but she's all the way up in Hokkaido, somewhere on the Tohoku Freeway. A transport carrying a labor runs away from the police. Out of the back of the truck pops an Atlas. The AL-97 Atlas is a military labor made by Hishi Heavy Industries. It has high-tension steel armor throughout its body. Most small firearms can't pierce it. The canopy is the weakest part of the labor. There is an onboard computer system that helps with targeting and control. This can be piloted by one, but it has 2 seats for a co-pilot. Standard equipment includes a 20mm Vulcan gun, a 6-barrel Gatling gun, and 6 smoke dischargers. It takes out the police cars. While waiting for Izumi, Asuma meets a mysterious man. Outside of Section 2, someone is staking out the police. Goto gets Ota to help him with some recon. Goto gets the labors out of Section 2 as something doesn't seem right. Asuma gets drunk with the Izumis. Goto knows the men using the military labor must be trained. He thinks a coup is about to take place. They were probably a part of the defense force. If you don't know, Japan has a defense force. Post-World War II, Japan can't have an army or start another war. The defense force is essentially their military, but they can never strike first. They can only defend. Can they avenge, though? The next day, the city is infiltrated. Section 2 is raided, but they got the labors out of there already. Yamazaki seems to have a layered past full of anguish. Too bad we'll never see that. Poor Yamazaki and his lack of screen time. Asuma and Izumi learn on the news that the leader of the coup is Kyoteru Kai. They have to get back to Tokyo ASAP. But let's enjoy this liminal space in the snow. We're in a hurry, but we could still vibe a little bit. Goto disseminates intel to Shinshi, while Kanaka is talking to the mechanics at Section 2. A police chief assigns Shinobu as garrison commander for this mission, but he wants to pull police out of the occupied areas. They believe the rebels have a nuke and don't want to take risks. Shinobu thinks this makes the police seem weak, and she doesn't want to go through with it. They don't know Goto's location. It seems the rebel leader Kai and Goto were college friends. They think he may be conspiring. Shinobu says, "That's my man," and she decides to act on her own. Ota, Kanaka, and Shinshi steal the AVT from the police academy. Goto answers the phone pretending to be a Chinese restaurant as people are trying to find him. Asuma tells him that he saw the leader at a noodle shop. Detective Matsui tells Goto that he is a wanted man. Goto says, "I saved you from Godzilla, you owe me one." The two meet with Kubo, who give them intel about the bay. He has photos of a missile launcher on a ship. It seems they have a bunch of these missile launchers on various ships. All are a dummy but one. Goto is able to contract one of the ships and get a hold of Kai. He tells him that if anyone gets close, he will fire a nuke. Jitsuyama gets permission to use their new airborne labor. Asuma wonders what Kanaka and the others are up to. Alright boys, let's do this. They mounted an Avenger on the AVT. The GAU-8 Avenger is a Gatling-style autocannon made by General Electric. These were also used on the A-10, and the Dutch used this on their Goalkeeper Sea-Whiz. The Equalizer is a variant used on the AV-8 Harrier jet. So anyways, Kanaka, Shinshi, and Ota round the corner and fail gloriously. Good job, boys. Kai's ship can be destroyed easily without them even noticing. But Japan's government doesn't have the balls to take down innocent civilians, as he puts it. The police bring in the Ingram they got out of Section 2. Goto is afraid of the risk of his plan, but they need to act. Kai's ultimatum involved the following demands: dissolve the National Diet, ban political parties, and indefinitely suspend the Constitution. Well, if you suspend that Constitution, you could start wars again, I guess. Matsui wonders if Goto is on Kai's side. Even he is unsure. It's time to begin the mission. A sub underwater fires a torpedo, but a torpedo doesn't come out. It is the airborne labor. The AL-X99 airborne labor is an experimental labor developed by SHI. This functioned as a testbed for the Helldiver. The unit is made for airborne use and functions as a paratrooper labor. The legs have built-in shock absorbers for landing. Its only armament are 6 smoke dischargers. The labor jumps out of the water and onto the ship. It finds the missile while Izumi handles the bridge. They are able to stop Kai's plan. Also, this is a reference to something, right? I'm just not seeing it. Feel like I'm missing the joke here. As a truck pulls into the gas station, one man tries to steal it. A cop comes to help, but the driver starts acting shady. What was he transporting? Shinobu informs Goto of the situation. The second moves into action. The truck takes the scenic route. Once it saw the sight of police, the regional police put up a checkpoint, but Goto wants to take it down, as it might force the truck off the freeway. One officer runs up and says, "Too late. This is the most ominous truck in all of anime. Unless you count Truck-kun. Can't start an isekai without a truck killing you." A chopper spots the rogue truck. Izumi and Ota create a blockade in the Ingrams. They try to stop the truck, but out of the bed comes a labor. It happens to be a Brocken. The Type 7B Brocken is a military labor made by Shaft Enterprise Europe. Their subsidiary, Shaft Enterprise Japan, also uses these. We will see many variants of this, but the 1A was the original German model. The 1B was the mass-produced variant used by Germany and NATO, which leads to 2B, a redesign of the original form from the ground up. The uniqueness of this design is the ball joint in the pelvis. Standard armaments include a 40mm rapid-fire cannon. Optional armaments include a 105mm cannon, 6 smoke dischargers, and a modified 40mm rapid-fire cannon used by the GSG-9 type. This truck driver is way in over his head. Looks like he's on a suicide mission now. Everyone argues when a Blackhawk touches down carrying Kaiho, the police chief. He informs them that Shaft Enterprises Europe will be assisting them. I feel like this could have been a phone call. You even did a phone call earlier! SEE are using Growlbears to help in the investigation. The Type 5Q 2C Growlbear is a general-purpose work labor made by SEE and is considered Europe's version of the Taisio. These are used for construction and security purposes. The labor has a low center of gravity, making these very stable. There is a lot of space in the cockpit, unlike their Japanese counterparts. The truck is run off the road by Growlbears. It kills the Brocken pilot. The truck driver who just wanted to steal a truck is now a labor pilot, I guess. He is somehow able to hold his own against the Growlbears and is able to run away. Izumi launches in the Ingram. Asuma has to take Izumi out on a date to the movies after all this is done. They surround the Brocken. The Growlbears say they will handle this and to not interfere. Goto tells Izumi to kick their ass. Hell yeah, we're ending this with a brawl. Izumi loses ground, but the Brocken comes in to help. The two take down SEE. I thought they were helping you. Oh well, not Japanese, don't care. We learn that the man who stole the truck did so to try to make it to his wife, who is currently in labor. The other kind of labor. Goto looks the other way and blames it all on the labor pilot, who is currently dead. Well, they are cops. Shinobu doesn't like it, but she eventually comes around. And that will conclude the OVA Patlabor, the mobile police. I'm glad I could finally cover this, but unlike Gundam coverage, this doesn't even remotely paint a picture of what Patlabor is. So much of it is the atmosphere, the vibes, and the liminal space. This is one where you just kinda gotta be there. Our journey with Patlabor doesn't stop here. Next time we will cover Patlabor, the movie. The year is now 1999. Much of Tokyo is being rebuilt on the waters. Patlabors are used for the construction, but then something goes wrong. But that will do it for now, new types. Remember to give Goto a cigarette. It makes the day go by easier. Peace.